Hey, my babies. So, back to the 12 universal laws, and today we are going to go into another one. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention when I was speaking about the first law and the laws altogether is there are consequences for not adhering to these laws. So, just like with the law of divine oneness, we actually see the results of the violation of this law every single day in various forms of oppression, social injustice, racism, classism, things like that, and even in our interpersonal relationships. This can be the thing that causes strife between two people, and it leads people to kind of go around hurting people and feeling that they can do it with impunity. So that is the consequence of breaking the law of divine oneness. And like I said, with breaking the other ones or not adhering to them, there are certain consequences that will begin coming into your life, because the universe is not without a sense of teaching us very necessary lessons. So the next one that we're actually going to go over today is the law of compensation. And this one simply breaks down to you reap what you sow. What you put into a thing is what you are going to get out of a thing. Now, normally when we think about compensation, we think about the currency exchange that normally takes place when we purchase goods or services. Yes, this also does apply, but look at it on a little bit of a deeper level. Let's say that I want to go and purchase something that costs $100, right? I purchase my items. The cashier tells me that it's $100. I pull out my debit card or $100 bill and hand it over. But also look at what was done to earn that $100. So it's a currency exchange on multiple levels, because normally when we think of currency, we only think of paper money, coin money, plastic money, and things like that. However, it still requires your energy and your time, which is actually the truest form of currency, for you to be able to do whatever was required of you to be able to get that $100 to be able to pay for that thing. You did $100 worth of work at some point that earned you the $100 that allowed you to be able to get that $100 item. But outside of the tangible things, the law of compensation applies to pretty much every facet of our life, even in our interpersonal relationships. Look at it in the sense of a romantic relationship, okay? If you have one person that is doing all of the emotional work and is willing to spend time and do the nice things for the other person that are required to nurture the connection, and the other person is just taking and not giving anything back to the connection, then eventually at some point, the person that is doing all of the giving is going to end the relationship. Also, too, in our other interpersonal relationships, when it comes to our familial and friendship relationships, I often used to have people that would call me all the time, but only when there was an issue, a crisis, or they needed something, they needed some advice, they needed some money or anything like that. These people would blow my phone up, texting, calling, all of these things when something was wrong. But when things were going well in their life, I didn't get a return call back, a text, or even a smoke signal. And sometimes those were in the times where, on the rare occasion, I needed a shoulder or I needed a different perspective to, kind of help sort myself through a problem, right? I might have needed a sounding board or that different perspective, and these people were not around. So eventually, when my phone would begin to ring and I knew what was on the other side of it, which was taker energy, I began not answering those phone calls and text messages from those people until eventually the phone calls and texts stopped. So breaking the law or violating the law of compensation can actually breed lack and loss into your life. It's actually the same thing with money, right? If you are continuously exchanging energy or currency, a lot of people teach that if you want to bring abundance into your life, you give without expecting anything in return. You give something, you help somebody out, you make a charitable donation or things like that. And some people even teach that when you're trying to attract abundance, you do not deprive yourself of the pleasures in life, because when you do, this creates a lack mindset. So if you want things, if you want energy to come in, you have to give energy out. Even with your spiritual practice or getting a degree, it takes time and learning. So this is still an investment. It is just an investment of time. The time that it takes you to learn, and the time that it takes you to get these foundational skills, or the time that you need to take studying for a final exam in college. This is what is responsible for your good grade or your bad grade. If you didn't put enough time and effort into retaining the information, when test time comes, you are not going to get a good grade. My father always taught me that nothing in this life is free. And although that was one of Daddy's little isms, it is actually a universal law. Everything has a price, whether that be time, energy, emotion, or money. All of these things in our everyday life, in these multiple facets, all fall under the law of compensation. So if you want something out of something, there has to be some type of sacrifice or something that you put into it. This input of energy will give you, often, if you're consistent with it, more than what you even expected, because the universe is not without a sense of not only reciprocity, but handing out bonuses. So for this reason, the law of compensation is also very important. They are all very important. However, the law of compensation can actually help with so many other things when we truly understand that nothing in life is free. So I hope that until the next time, you can see the different ways that the law of compensation applies into your life. This will help bring abundance into your life. And this will also help keep you protected from taker energy, people that only take out of your cup and don't give anything back. It will help you identify user energy from a mile away. If you are giving to something and that other person is not working, that is not reciprocal, and the law of compensation is being broken, and then you must act accordingly. If a person is not willing to put into anything, do they really deserve to get anything out? So hopefully you take these jewels with you until the next one that we speak about, and hopefully you can keep this jewel in your pocket for every day and continue to circulate beautiful things into your life. Until next time, I love you.